What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the NarikChase channel, and we are doing episode 2 of the Netflix Resident Evil Live action series. This right here is going to be a review. I go into the spoilers, so if you don't want to know what the spoilers are, don't listen to the video or skip to the end or whatever. I haven't really got this formatted like that, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk about that. But before I do, be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and the notification button to get the best of what this channel has to offer. And plus, the way YouTube's algorithm shit is just as infectious and just as full of shit as the T virus at this point. Um, but having said that, we're just going to jump right into this. Now, this episode, episode 2, The Devil You Know, picks up exactly where episode 1 left off, where you have this kind of decent shot of Jade falling through the air as she's jumped off the top of this wall to avoid being captured by Umbrella operatives, only to fall into a horde of zombies. Now, because she's such a strong, independent, uh, strong-willed black woman, and plus the writers who wrote this are full of shit and lack any kind of consistency, attachment to reality, or any kind of talent. She falls quite a not too far. I'd say probably about 30 feet, maybe. But she falls and she lands on top of this. I thought it was a car at first, but it looked like a small little shack or because it had tinfoil roof on it, and she falls on top of that and rolls off. And I'm like, okay, she at least sprained the ankle or something. She walked away from that like it was nothing. She put the bulletproof skin approach to it. Like this was Luke Cage. Well, how she just walked away from that. Now one could say, okay, adrenaline. She just jumped off of this thing. She landed in a horde of zombies, so she knows she needs to get out of there. But no, she was still. They should have still did something. But these are the same writers that had us watch her get slammed into the fucking car by a giant mutant centipede, and she walked away with a supposed concussion. But then when she wakes up from being knocked out, she has absolutely no bruise, no kind of injury from that altercation at all. So of course she rolls off of this, and zombies start to try to attack her and everything. For some reason, even though she landed in the middle of them, they don't surround her and just get up on her. But okay, that could be just the fault of the writers yet again. And you know, the non-threatening fat white guy that's the bad guy of the show, one of the bad guys of the show apparently, who's representative of Umbrella, has the guards end up firing out on the zombies to provide a bit of cover for her because she is a wanted asset and they don't want her to get killed, despite the fact they let her jump off of this thing when they could have actually surrounded her or stunned her or something. But okay, they're shooting at these zombies, giving her time to. Honestly, I don't know because they're shooting at some zombies, but the zombies around her, they're not affected by the gunfire. Now, I don't know if they just because she was running and she was leading a bunch of them away, or they just happen to be out of, you know, shot. But then that doesn't make any sense because he was talking to her at one point. So next you know, one of the survivors busts out the gate of the place after they pretty much everybody else got massacred. In fact, it was the one of the black. It was the black guy that was with Tate that found her, and he instead of him driving the fuck off, which I would have done, he actually drives around. And I don't know if he drove around because he saw her or it doesn't really matter. She ends up jumping on top of the car because he stops, and then he sits there for the longest time, allowing zombies to just crowd around the car for some fucking reason before eventually taking off. I'm like, dude, y'all in a horde of zombies. The moment she jumped on the car, you could have just took off. No, he's just sitting there, just looking around stupid. And not only does the zombies not dissuade him just from just booking the hell out of there, you got Umbrella operatives shooting too. They could have potentially shot you. So I don't understand why he hesitated, but okay, that was the future. Now we're going to jump back. Well, actually, it was the present. Now we're going to jump back into the past. Um, of course, it comes out Billy's dead. Jade's crying. Excuse me. Yeah, I know how I am when I get tired. I'm low energy. I just yawn. Just bear with me on this. So Billy, uh, obviously, is not dead. She comes right back. Uh, they try to have this big melodramatic moment of Jade just like, oh, my sister's dead. And it's like, I know, I'm glad she's dead. She's a fucking idiot. She's pathetic. She's sorry. Get rid of them. That's what Darwinism for. Let the fittest survive, and the weakest shall perish. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. She actually wakes the fuck up. And honestly, even looking at the bite itself, I'm like, there's no fucking way that girl could have died from that bite. I mean, yeah, it kind of ripped the shoulder up a little bit, but it wasn't like he tore this out or anything like that, which is what I thought he had did. But he actually just kind of roughed up her shoulder. Yeah, he bit into her, but there's no fucking way that she should have died from that. I'm sorry. So all of that build up for that was just a bunch of BS. Just something trying to make us connect with the character, piss off with the character, which I do not. But anyway, so Wesker ends up showing up. How he got there before security forces got there, I have no fucking idea. Why did he think they were there? I mean, you could say he woke up seeing that his past and stuff was missing, which I guess I give it a pass now that I mentioned that. But he comes there. He tells them to get out of there. He puts blood on himself to make, and he fucks up the system. He sets a virus off in all the systems, computer systems. So it wipes all the memory, the research, the cameras that were there in the security that were there in the research center, and he puts blood on them, and he makes it seem like basically he was there doing research when a virus got basically told enough for his daughters. Now, obviously, we know that he's going to set this up like, okay, he was there and this bad thing happened, and he was the reason why, he killed a dog or whatever. But we'll get back to that. So after he wipes blood on himself and the security forces are coming, we go back into the present, which I like to actually say future, because future and past sound past, present. I guess past and present. I don't know. I'm probably gonna alternate between future and present, but we'll get back to that. So Jade is still on top of this car, and this dude is punching it. Whoever the black dude that's in it is punching it. He's trying to get out of here. So there's this weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a bridge. I don't know if it's a small tunnel. I don't know if it's a wall. I'm not sure what the hell it is. But there's this wall there's an opening in this big wall. And the top of the opening has spikes, metal spikes jutting down. So it's only tall enough for this truck, van, Jeep, whatever it is, to get through. With nothing on it, it's just enough for it to get through without damaging it. Jade is on top of this car, and instead of her either trying to swing in from the side to try to get in the car, try to get in from the little sky roof thing that they have on there, try to get on the back of it, because that's how she got on it in the first place, to even roll off of the damn thing. She is sitting here yelling to stop the car, and I'm like, these spikes are coming, is right there, and he's not looking like he's going to stop. Why would you stay on top of the car? You would at least get off. You roll off into the grass. You probably get, well, if it was anybody else, they'd probably get banged up a little bit, but we've already seen what happens to you. You roll off, you're going to be okay. So instead of her actually getting off of this damn car, she risks getting impaled head first and stays on the damn car. So the guy ends up stopping. Of course, they try to make it seem like it was one of those cool scenes where he stopped and she looks up and the spike is like an inch away from her face. But it would have been a bit better if the scene wasn't so damn stupid. So what happens? Instead of her getting off, he backs up, probably about 10 feet from the opening. He gets out of the car, pulls a gun on her, tells her to leave because she's got a target on her from Umbrella. Now, if that was the train of thought, why did you say? Why did you stop for her in the first place? And if your train of thought was that as well, why did you stop the car from going through the tunnel? She just let the girl just get impaled. So anyway, she says, hey, you can't go around. Now that, you've seen what happened, you've escaped, Umbrella's not going to let you tell all these other freeholds or wherever these survivor encampments are that, they're going to kill you, they're going to try to kill you. And I'm thinking to myself, why? They don't even know who this damn dude is. He's just some survivor. And I'm quite sure that that's not the only freehold that they've attacked and survivors have made it out. And they've went and told other survivors that Umbrella's just killing people. So that was just a stupid train of thought. But she's like, well, I can help you. I'm like, you can't even help yourself. You not helping yourself is what got you into this situation. You not helping yourself is the reason that end up leading this freehold place. These survivors get killed. There ain't been a damn train all day, and as soon as I do a video, a train goes off in the distance. Good God. I don't, never mind. It is what it is. We're gonna keep boogieing until that train come on by. I can't, that's what happened. That's why you shouldn't stay next to the tracks. But anyways, so what happens? Zombies just come out of fucking nowhere. And instead of these two geniuses getting in the damn car, the Jade just stands on the side not doing anything. And then the black guy shoots one of them. And the first thing you should have did was got back in the damn car. No, he's sitting around looking stupid as more and more of these zombies just fall out of fucking sky, basically. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they falling off this wall. But I'm like, what in the hell would make these zombies think the best idea? Where do these zombies come from? What attracted them? I'm good, damn train. But anyway, so these zombies just start falling out of the fucking woodwork, and they eat the black guy. And I was like, well, thanks, Jay. Instead of him stopping, got him. And she's like, I can help you. Him stopping got him killed. You talking to him got him killed. I'm like, good God. So what happens? She gets into the car, takes his shit, and leaves. Now, am I totally for the guy though? Because he was a fucking idiot. The first zombie showed up, he should have been out of there. If anything, he probably should have just shot Jade and just boogied on. But like I said, that's kind of his fault too. But all right, Jade, that's what happens. But okay, fine. So we go back into the past. You know, the security, Umbrella security, finally shows up. They see Wesker. Wesker tells them, hey, I was working late. Somehow somebody hacked us, released a virus, shut down some of my security protocols, wiped the computers, and the dog got out, attacked me. I had no choice but to defend myself. Okay, he's holding up for his daughters. It's not Wesker in the slightest, because Wesker wouldn't do this shit. But okay, we'll just fuck it. Let's just go with what the show is going with. But then we have another character that ends up coming in. Her name's Evelyn. She apparently is a high roller in Umbrella, and I'm not sure if she actually runs all of the corporations or she just run one certain division of it. But her and Wesker have history, and through dialogue, it is somewhat alluding that, from what I got from it, was that potentially they were an item, and that potentially she is Jade and Billie's mother. I could kind of somewhat see it, but we'll see how it goes with that. But anyways, I'm like, and she walks in and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is Umbrella Corporation, so yes, we got to have a strong character. I would actually thought she would have played like a character like Excella from Resident Evil 5. But I guess she's an original character for this series. So I'm like, okay. If they would have went with her, I would have been like, okay, that's a character I can kind of buy. But I'm on the fence because I've heard that this is actually canon with the first 5 games. And if it is, Excella was in Resident Evil 5 and she died in Resident Evil 5, so it would make sense that she's not Excella. But I will say she would have been a pretty cool Excella. And I'm watching, I'm like, hey, it's that chick from Bad Boys 3. The one that had like the love interest of Will Smith. I thought she was actually pretty good in that. This, But anyway, so they have a bit of dialogue. And one of the things that kind of set me off about this scene was the first thing after Wesker tells her about all of this stuff going on, she says to the other black guy, who I think is Wesker's boss, to fire the guard. And the guy's like, oh, well, he's already been fired. And I'm thinking to myself, what fucking guard? There has not been a guard on station at any, I don't think on any scene since the show aired. There is more guards. There's more guards in the future scenes than is in the past. And this is a highly classified research and scientific development center about one of the most, if not the most powerful company on the planet. How is there more guards in the future than there is in the actual past? Okay, I was like, that's what kind of consistency is that? You telling me that the writers don't remember the first episode where these girls basically walked into a guardless facility? Okay, that makes total fucking sense. Um, Evelyn, I think, is a character that I could come to like, but I think she's just gonna be just as wonky as these other freaking characters. And the moment I said I thought she could have been an interesting character, what happens? Especially with what she alludes to later on. What happens? You got this lady walks into this place after this security breach or whatever, which the place should have been on lockdown. How did this lady get in here? I have no idea. But she comes in and she's like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm freaking out." And there's a bunch of feelings and drama because apparently Evelyn is gay and this is her wife. And I'm like, why are we seeing this? Why is this heifer here? She's at, I'm like, Evelyn is at her place of business. She's the boss here. Why are you there with all of this drama? Unnecessary drama. If it's a scene where it shows her at home, okay, it'd be full of nobody would want to watch that, but it would make this sense because they're at home. They give the context, but you don't sit here and show out in front of your wife's employees when the wife is the boss. Just a bunch of unnecessary drama that was just completely stupid. But this is what made me think that potentially, you know, Evelyn is the mother's because at the end of the scene she says, "Tell the girls I said hi." And I was like, why would she say that? And obviously there's something between the two characters. Not really interested, but my thing is, I think that in Resident Evil 5, like in Resident Evil 6, you find out that Wesker has kids, has a son named Jake. Actually, a pretty badass character. And when you see Resident Evil 5, there is a bit something, you can tell there is something between Excella and Wesker. Maybe not full on romance, but they might have fooled around. There might have been something there. Which I like that because I don't like villains that are just like 100%. I mean, some villains 100% just evil, fine. But some villains, I think, a bit shades of gray. They like to get some ass too. They like to gamble. They like to drink. I like to see a bit personality to my villains. So that you can tell there's something that has been there between Wesker and Evelyn. So that was an interesting scene. Ultimately, just a stupid one as well. So we'll go back. Now I also don't understand this part either because Billy. It goes back to Billy and Jade. They're at the house and everything. Billy's got a fucked up shoulder because of the bite. Obviously, we know because the dog was infected, something else is going on with Billy. Now, this is something I can't stand, and I see it in a lot of these stupid low budget B movies. When people get injuries, the characters, I don't know why people write it like this, but the characters would end up trying to clean and dress the wound with the clothes on. And I'm like, if I get bit in the leg by a snake, I would expect you to take my pants off so that way, or if I get cut on my leg, or if it gets broken and the bone is sticking out or something, I would expect you to take my pants off to dress the wound. You can't do that with the cloth material all on my shit and everything. That doesn't make any sense, and it can actually help lead to an infection. But this girl's shoulder's bleeding. I'm like, okay, take her jacket off, so that way you can address the wound. Put some alcohol on it, gauze, something. how you gonna wrap it up with a fucking jacket on, you know? And then I can't stand watching movies and stuff when they do that. So here she Jade is sitting here just looking at a messed up shoulder, not doing anything productive. But I didn't say also that throughout this whole thing, when she's interacting with Wesker and Wesker's trying to figure out how, how he's going to protect his girls, how he's going to come up with a good backstory. He's basically planning through all of it, pushing through all of this stuff. She's still being a complete asshole. So fuck Jade. Not the girl, the actress, the actual character. Actual character is trash. So, all right, going back to the future, Jay ends up going to Dover, England. She ends up going to this guy's house, looking for this guy to help smuggle her out because he smuggled her in. He smuggled her somewhere at some point. Of course, the place previously didn't have umbrella presence there. There's guards everywhere. There's drones, and she's just walking around looking fucking suspicious as hell. I don't like watching movies where people are trying to hide, but when they hide in the most suspicious. Like she's got everybody at this place is showing their face and stuff. She's the only person walking in there with a fucking cloak and a hood. That looks so suspicious. And then she's aware that Umbrella is looking for her. She's in this in this area with high concentrations of Umbrella forces. And what does she do? Look into this drones, just look straight at the drone, nothing covering her face up or something. And one of the things I'm thinking to myself, if you're being sought after, and I can't stand this, and a lot of this typically happens with women characters. They have their hair in a fixed in a specific way, very unique. No other character has their hair like that, but they're being chased. So you would say one of the things you would do to kind of help, because even if somebody's behind you and they see your hair, they can identify you. But I'm like, okay, why don't you just take her hair out? It'll help mask her a little bit better than having it all braided up the way it is, because nobody else has their hair like that. But okay, so she ends up going to this guy's house. I can't remember this fool's name. He was so irrelevant to the story. But she comes there. He smuggled her in. She's trying to get him to smuggle her back out. The old lady that's there, I thought that was his mom at first, but apparently that's his wife. She's got a bunch of cats in there everywhere, and you know, and Jay's being kind of a dick to her. She's like, "Well, he's not here," and she get ready to close the door. And of course, Jada basically strong arms her way into it. I mean, not really, but she's being overly persistent. We understand the urgency, but again, she's been like this is so far the entire time, so it's very annoying. So the old woman is just acting suspicious as hell. You can tell something's going on with her. She's in here telling her, "Oh, babe, my husband ain't gonna be here for a while. Don't know when he's gonna be back." Jade has a call with her, calls her husband, use the sat link to call her husband. Don't care about him. Again, because she's such a hard character to actually like. They're trying to have this intimate moment, speaking about her daughter and everything, and ultimately you just don't care. Just a bunch of touchy feely stuff that you don't want to see in a Resident Evil series, especially given the stakes that's just going on right now. I want to see some action. I want to see zombie. I want to see monsters. I don't want to see people in cuddly feelings. It would probably be different if during the past they had the emotional scenes, and then in the future it's more about like action, survival horror, and stuff like that. That way, the tonal shifts would work a bit better. But nobody want to see that crap in the future, especially with this apocalypse. So, anyways, they end up hearing that the old lady ends up threatening to call the umbrella on Jade. They end up hearing a noise. Jade investigates, find out that the man that she's been looking for handcuffs himself to the bathroom because I guess he got bit by a zombie and he turned into a zombie. So she needs to find somebody else to do it. They don't have the information. The zombie has the information in his pocket. And then we get this stupid scene of her going in here, digging through the zombie's pockets as it's trying to attack her. The zombie fucks his wrist up, basically cutting his hand off. Attacks, for some reason doesn't attack Jade, but runs past Jade and attacks his wife. And then I'm thinking, all right, he's gonna bite her ass. And then next thing you know, Jade saves her, stabs the zombie in the back of the head, and then the woman proceeds to kick Jade out for killing her husband because she said she wouldn't kill her husband. But I'm thinking to myself, that's fucking dumb. She would do it. Things change. She wouldn't have done it if the zombie hadn't attacked her. So what was Jay supposed to do? Let the zombie kill her? Let the zombie kill his wife? That it didn't really make any sense. But and then she had this kind of a line. I mean, when they go into the bathroom, you see the zombie and everything. You see that the reason why the wife has all the cats is because she's feeding the cats to the husband. And then Jay kind of throws a line out there, which the line itself was a bit cheesy, wasn't really needed or anything like that. But I thought it was kind of, I thought it was, I like the fact that it was addressed in some form or fashion. Hey, there's a fuck ton of cat bones and meat and shit in the damn tub. Somebody need to bring that up. Which is weird because if that's the case, then they didn't smell. She didn't smell it. She didn't smell the husband in there either. You would walk into a house and there's like a zombie and a bunch of ripped up corpses in the bathroom. You would say, it smells like shit in here or something. But anyways, so yeah, Jake ends up. The guy's name was Barry, but he was so irrelevant I didn't give a damn. So we go back to the past. Wesker is looking over Billy's wounds and everything. Again, since we know about Resident Evil, we know that she is either turning into a zombie or she's undergoing some kind of mutation. The sickness is already set in. You can see it in her characters. Um, she just looks like shit right now. So, yeah, I don't care about that girl, not in the slightest. Jade is looking up, researching this about what's going on in Tijuana. She ends up coming across some article that's trying to expose them. If Umbrella is that powerful and they got that kind of pull, which is what they've shown, that article wouldn't even be up. But okay, fine. And it's not like it was masked. Like the wording was different to where they couldn't scroll through it and see, that if I say Thor Ragnarok review and that article come up, you read it, you're like, okay, it's just this is going to be a review of Thor Ragnarok. But if I say um, the fifth Phase 4 movie of Marvel or something like that, it's not specifically saying Thor. You get what I'm saying? But this actually was like, it was specifically saying Umbrella and Tijuana. And I'm like, so nobody's screening this shit? Okay. But the thing about it was blocked. Couldn't access it. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of the computer or the internet or however they blocked it or whatever, but I would have preferred it wouldn't be accessible at all. Like, Jay would have clicked on it and said this shit got taken down. That would have made more sense, but okay, fine. So what happens is Wesker, it goes back to Wesker. Wesker takes some of Billy's blood out, or he did inject her with something. But I guess he took some of the blood that he would normally take out of her or has stored. Anyway, he uses Billy's blood in some capacity, injects a rat with it, does some scientific shit. Then his hand starts violently shaking, and then he starts. I thought he was having a seizure or something, but apparently he's missed his injections. Which when I alluded to in my last video about this, there's other reasons why he's taking care of these girls, and apparently he does need them, especially the blood that stop him from having seizures or whatever. So he ends up taking it. He's okay. I'm still was watching it like, what the fuck is going on? But okay, hopefully we do get that addressed. Jade ends up going to school and she talks to this and this girl bumps into her. And it was a stupid bump because it was so forced. You're like, this girl's literally in the middle of the thing. How did you bump into her? So this girl tells Jade that there's this new anime that's out, but because Umbrella watches the internet and everything. They can't stream it. They have to you have to actually be able to hack or whatever to the torrents and stuff. You know, back in the day we had the torrents where we download movies and stuff like that. We still got them. I don't trust them bitches no more because I got a virus off one or two of them. I don't like that no more. And plus, AT&T threatened to cut my shit off if I downloaded one of those copy strike movies again. So thank you for that, AT&T. Thank you. But anyways, so she just, this guy just can hack or whatever. He's a computer genius, apparently. And he's able to access this anime. So, what a convenient, it's how convenient you hit this website up you can't go to because it's been blocked. And now you find this guy, not even 5 minutes later, that can hack through it. So, he ends up hacking through it. And takes him probably less amount of time it took her to even get to the damn school. So hacks it, and she ends up coming across the information. This guy printed this article talking about the incident that went down in Tijuana, which I heard another YouTuber say this, but I have to agree with them based off what happened on the last episode. This is canon with the first few Resident Evil games, but nobody talks about a Raccoon City, the incident in Raccoon City. It's like it's been forgotten, or it's been covered up so well that like it's what's that, the not the butterfly effect, the Mandela effect. It's like everybody just fucking forgot it happened. But okay, fine. So you would think that if this instance in Tijuana is going down, other people would have some sort of access. Like they wouldn't be the only people to suspect what is going on. Like right to Jade, Tijuana is the starting point of all of this stuff. But to us, since this is canon with the story, then we know the Splinter State Raccoon City will be the start. So there'll be other people that be like, okay, this is another Raccoon City going on. But now the way that this has been played is Tijuana is the first time that this shit's happened. So I don't like the way that they're playing it. So anyway, but she said something stupid to this boy too. I cannot. What did she say to him? It was so stupid. She was like, he was watching anime or whatever. She goes to ask him, says something to him. Then she just all of a sudden just calls him disgusting. And I'm like, why did you call him disgusting? And he's like, oh, you need help from the disgusting guy. And I'm like, why would you fucking say that? Like, the writing and the dialogue with these young characters in these TV shows nowadays just fucking stupid. No, I understand young people say dumb junk, but that was just, why did she call this dude disgusting? I'm still trying to figure that out. But anyway, he hacks it. She finds out what's going on. And then I would think again, Umbrella be screening this shit because they, if they're able to wipe away what happened in Raccoon City, they gotta have some kind of power over like the media and stuff, right? And over the internet and stuff, right? So she ends up emailing this guy. So I'm like, okay, that should be like a red flag to whatever Umbrella Corporation is watching this shit. She's contacting this guy, and again, it should red flag their family because that's not the only time some shit went down. So, anyways, uh, Back to the Future. The fat, non-threatening white umbrella guy that tripped on the stairs in the previous episode is talking to the old lady, eating some old ass cookies, and trying to figure out what's going on. He's basically interrogating her, and shows her a picture of Jade taken from the drone, the drone that she looked at with no covering, and she basically was smiling. She basically was just posing for a picture because the picture was so perfect. And I'm not saying because of the HD quality of the picture taken. I'm talking about the way she looked at it. And I'm like, it's not like she hid beside something and then just like, how you hide behind something, you just kind of look like that. That would make more sense. She didn't do that. She just like, I don't know if y'all seen that. If y'all go back and watch Harry Potter, I can't remember which Harry Potter it was. I think it was The Order of the Phoenix. There's one scene where Voldemort is in Harry's head and he's messing with him. And I still understand why they had it, but it's like this one scene, one little quick scene of Voldemort like that. That's basically what she did in front of the damn drone. Fucking stupid. If you know you're a wanted person, one of the things you wouldn't do is look directly at the fucking camera, especially with nothing covering your face. But okay, fine. So Jade ended up going to a bar. She's talking to some guy that can smuggle that she knows can smuggle out, but she just can't pay for it. So she ends up stealing some other guy's token, giving him a drink, and walking the hell out. And I was glad because I felt at first I thought she was going to do that thing where she just talks her way into it, being insistent. You have to help me, and he's like, oh, okay. Like I thought they was gonna go that route with it, but she didn't. And I'm glad the guy stood firm. Was like, no, I'm not doing it unless you got the money. And she had the money, so she had to bounce. Um, but then, like I said, it goes back to what I was saying too. Change your damn appearance. Stop wearing the same exact clothes that they see that. It's like saying, okay, this suspect has a red jumpsuit on. You're the only person wearing a red fucking jumpsuit at the end of the world. Take it off. You're the only person with your hair braided up there. Take it down. Do something to make your. That's like right now they were hunting, looking for me, and it's like, hey, a black male with a thick beard and an unkept mustache and everything. I'm cutting this shit off. I'm gonna keep running with this on, but okay. So after that crap, it goes back to the past. This jump back and forth is just some fierce stuff. So Walt Wesker goes to talk to Evelyn. There, and this again is one of those moments where you could tell there had to have been something going on with their past. They had to have some kind of relationship going on, or they were particularly close. Wesker again, I don't like his character because he's a bitch. All of this, he's talking about, he's concerned about Tijuana saving lives, and if this was a different character, fine, but not Albert Wesker. Now you can say, hey, he's a clone of him. I still don't give a fuck. It's Albert Wesker, hands down. He needs to be cold, methodical, and uncaring. Now, if you say, hey, he's got the daughters, okay, fine, we can go with that. But him just being, I don't want people to die, and this is going on. I don't want to hear that shit. He's talking about quitting, and then of course he ain't gonna quit. Just shut the fuck up. Well, obviously, she knows about the injections too because she does see they've injecting himself, I guess. But I'm trying to figure out this too, and I'm like, if it's that obvious to her, and he's injecting himself like right here, it's not nowhere you can't see or whatever. So I'm like, so nobody else seen that? Nobody else noticed he got like where he sticks his shit? And I'm like, okay, fine. But and they also kind of do something I don't like too. They kind of minimize his importance, like try to make it seem like she's more important than him. Because there's one line that they throw out that says, she says, if you wouldn't have got this position if it weren't for me or something like that. But I'm like, if he's a scientist and they're talking about this stupid joy shit, which is supposed to be some drug for people that have like that are depressed and shit like that. Okay, fine. But I'm like, if he's that much of a genius and he's developed all of this specific stuff at his company that gives them light here, that gives them, so much of an advantage in the pharmaceutical market and everything, even going as far as what's going on with the T virus and everything, then how can you say you're the reason why he's where he's at? No, his genius is the reason why he's like. I don't like how they try to minimize with her, but I'm like, who the fuck is you? Can you do what he do? What makes you so important? And when you look back on it, you can say, okay, Wesker was was a scientist. That's why he was so important. And if you look at the other villains throughout the series, you can see that they had specific skill sets that made them, that got them where they were. It wasn't just they, you know what I'm saying? They just weren't there. Like, if she's a scientist or something, I want to know. Because the way they played that, I was like, she was on some more shit. And I'm like, okay, fine. You better prove to me how you so important. And don't tell me you know how to talk to people, you know how to network. I don't want to hear that. But of course, it goes back to Billie. Billie's at home. She's looking at her wounds. Wound look like shit. She looks like shit. And I'm looking at it. She actually looks like maybe it's just the actress. This is coincidence, but if you look at her, the way that she looks in the mirror and everything. She looks like Rain from the first Resident Evil movie, right when she was right before she turned into a zombie. And I was like, I don't know, maybe that's just coincidence, or maybe that was just actually just a little throwback to the movie or something, or maybe it's just me. I just happened to see that, and just that's what I visualized. But if you think that too, just maybe I just need to know I'm not alone in that. I thought she looked like Rain. So okay, so uh, she's she goes to that little cute little dog that she has, and the dog obviously can sense something's wrong with her. So it starts barking at her. We go back to Jade at school. Jade ends up being contacted by the guy who put up the article on the internet, who probably should have been red flagged because I'm quite sure if Umbrella blocked that shit, blocked her from going to it, despite the fact that she got somebody to hack into it, they still probably be monitoring that. And she did give her an email address. And another thing that got me too, and I don't know if it's just because schools these days are just fucking dumb, but I'm like, if you're in school, why do you have your cell phone? And it's not like you had your cell phone put up. You had your cell phone out. And when I was in school, you didn't have your cell phone out. But I'm like, okay, so she's talking to this guy who was a reporter that was in Tijuana doing, you know, that was researching what Umbrella was doing there and the outbreak and everything. And he did say some interesting stuff, but some stuff I'm like, I mean, it was pretty generic. It's what you would think a whistleblower in a movie like this or a television show in a situation like this would say. But it was one thing that I didn't like about it. It was several things I didn't like about it. One, she admitted she was 14. I wouldn't even talk to you. You 14? No, I'm not talking to you. Another thing, I mean, she was pretty rude too. That was another thing. But the third thing that got me was she's like, I'm not talking to you unless you show your face. Because he was in a dark silhouette. And I'm like, he's doing this to protect his identity. Why would you try to force this man to show his face? And like I said, Jade is just a fucking idiot. I hate her character because when Wesker was trying to take care of her and Billy at the beginning of the episode, she just kept going off, being rude, asking stupid questions. And I'm like, your dad is trying to protect his family, you fucking twat. Of course he's going to tell you to do this. It makes sense to do this. Why we need to go out the back door? Because you don't need to be out the front door with security coming in, you dummy. Why we gotta do this? To protect your family from legal repercussions, you idiot. You broke into this research and development, this R&D facility. And you did a lot of bad shit. Stupid. So Jay does the same thing. And the principal ends up catching her. I don't understand how the principal caught her because the principal was like down the way. How she even knew it was Jay, I don't fucking know. And why is it the principal's fucking everywhere? Where the teachers at? But it was just stupid. I don't see why they ain't had that girl thing tapped. Just fuck this guy's livelihood. I mean, pretty much Umbrella already burned him, but you sitting here just about to get this guy burned even more. And it's not like you learned any new information. But okay, fine. So it goes back to Billy. Billy's walking a dog now. The dog is acting very frantic and is trying to get away from her and is trying to run. The dog actually manages to get out the leash, takes off. Some neighbor actually picks the dog up, tries to get the dog back to Billy, and the dog is because again the dog senses something's wrong with Billy and they don't want nothing to do with that. And they do it about 3 or 4 times. And Billy is such a fucking idiot. She don't want to let. She's like, okay, I was a dog. Don't want to fuck with me. We need to think about how to get around that. No, she keeps trying to grab the dog that keeps trying to bite her. So of course, dude is like, well, the dog's acting this way. I can't, and you don't have any proof that it's your dog. So I'm taking the dog to the shelter. Let them sort it out. Now I'm a bit confused. Now I'm not sure if this is between the infection or this just Billy's knee-jerk reaction to not having shit go her way or whatever when the plot says so. But she attacks this guy. This grown ass man just punches him in the face and knocks him down. Which I was like, there's no fucking way she could have did that to this guy. I mean, yeah, she'd have hit this dude, but she knocked this dude back on his ass. And I'm like, so she wouldn't hit the bully, but she'll hit this white guy. That woke shit. That woke shit's something fierce. I'm a black dude, but I'm like, come on now. You can't sit here and just try to make it seem like the white guy was the bad guy. And it's okay to hit the dude, but you wouldn't hit the fucking girl that embarrassed you twice. Stupid. Fucking dumb. So, she gets the dog and takes off. And then we go back to the future, present, and with Jade. Jade is with these bunch of people that are about to get smuggled out of Dover to, and I didn't say it earlier, but her husband or whatever this guy's name is said, hey, we need to get you to Khalees so I can come pick you up. And it made me wonder, and I was like, if Umbrella is looking for Jade, and she's number one on their list, why the fuck is she not in the protection of her husband's crew or whatever? Why is she out there in the fucking wild? Like she's Aloy and this is Horizon Zero Dawn. You would think she'd be in hiding, not doing all this other shit. Just fucking stupid. So anyways, she's with these people. The guy that whose token she took is there, and he can't find his token because she took it. And you're like, oh damn, fuck this guy. You just didn't care, huh? So she takes it. They about to get ready to bounce. What happens? Umbrella shows up. They get to mowing people down again, and I'm like, what the fuck is up with Umbrella? I'm like, I don't think they were this vicious in the fucking movies. I don't think they were this vicious in the damn games. But I'm like, these people are just killing people for just the hell of it at this point. It's not like they rounded them up. It's not like, and it's not like, you know, the people were shooting back or anything. Like, no, they just, their first instinct is to just fucking kill everybody. And it's stupid because I'm like, if you know that they're looking for this girl, why are you just randomly shooting everybody? You could potentially shoot her. So, there go that. But anyways, so episode 2 leaves off with two very specific scenes. One, Billie's in the bathroom. She's looking at herself. Again, she looks like complete shit. And then she ends up spitting up some blood. So, you know, the infection is well on its way. What was revealed was by the video that Jade ended up speaking with the guy was that within 72 hours of the guy, one of the subjects being bitten by this infected animal, he became basically infected himself, started acting out, wanting to kill people and stuff like that. So I don't even think it's been a full day and Billy been infected and everything, which is weird because Wesker knows what happened in Tijuana. Why the fuck he ain't quarantined his daughter? Why the fuck he doesn't have someone watching his daughter? Why isn't he watching his daughter? Why isn't he talking to Umbrella about what's going on? He got all these resources. He can even pull Evelyn aside since she's the big wig and they got some kind of relationship going on. Hey, my daughter's is infected. We need to protect my daughter. He's not doing any of that shit. So I'm thinking to myself, this bitch ends up just going crazy and just goes zombie mode. What's the fuck? What's gonna stop her from attacking people? Stupid. But the last scene, shut up. The last scene shows the rat that Wesker end up injecting with Billie's blood, which I'm not sure if it's Billie's blood before or it's Billie's blood after her being attacked, which it might have been after her she got attacked. But you see the rat basically mutate and then it's sitting here trying to break this glass to get out. And it kind of had me interested because I'm thinking to myself, just out of curiosity, why in the hell is it trying to break the glass? I mean, is it aware that the glass is there? And there's nothing that I could tell to motivate it to want to break the glass. So if it had some food on the other side of the glass and it's trying to break the glass to get to the food, that makes more sense. This thing just saying trying to break the glass for no damn reason. But okay, so episode 2. I'm just gonna say I was fucking disappointed. One, the little zombie shit that they did do was fucking dumb. I, there's really no repercussions to what these two girls did and what it's going to lead up to. Because the thing is, because I can already see it. It's like 28 weeks later. You have everything's this brother and sister is the reason why all of this shit fucking happened. So you could definitely tell these two are gonna be the reason why all of this bullshit fucking happens. And it's just retarded. The characters make dumb decisions. Jade, both past and present, is literally one of the worst fucking characters I've ever seen. She's so poorly written. She's so fucking stupid. She's so damn unlikable. There's there are very few women, especially main characters in television that I've seen that I've disliked this much. The chick from Van Helsing, the main chick, I hate that bitch. Why? Because she's selfish, because she's self-centered. She makes decisions that get people killed. She does things that compromise the safety of other people, does not care, does not apologize. And I don't understand why writers try to make strong female characters like this. That's not a strong female character. That's what you call an asshole. And if it's a guy doing the exact same thing, he's an asshole too. So, again, the direction is dumb. The Evelyn, the fact Evelyn's character could be something. I highly doubt it. I think she's going to be completely stupid, despite the fact that I actually like the actress a lot. I just the direction is just so fucking just. Uh, it's been so draining. I'm so frustrated with this series. I forgot to even do my damn intro. I said it was okay, but everything was just fucking dumb. The first episode had 2 or 3 interesting moments that I actually did somewhat like. This episode, not really, not much, nothing. I expected to have some zombie action. I expected to see a monster or two, but all of this, people and their feelings, people making dumb decisions, making poor decisions. The fact the writing is dumb, the dialogue is fucking terrible. Why did this girl fucking call this guy disgusting? I still don't understand that. They don't, and characters in the fucking show don't even understand that. Dude even asked him, why are you calling me that? But anyways, I'm done. In the comment section below, guys, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about episode 2. Me, the shit that felt this shit is in the toilet. It didn't hit the level. Episode 2 then took it down to the same level as Halo, the television series. I don't know what the hell these writers or what they're doing or lack thereof, but damn, they need to step their game up because this is just dumb. But anyways, y'all let me know your thoughts. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what we got going on. And we'll definitely catch you guys later.